Fan TV, we're today with Adam Smith. How you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Last time I saw you was frantically banging the table in America, Madison Square Garden.
You don't often get nights like that, do you? I think it was possibly the biggest upset we've covered on Sky Sports. Not as big, I don't think, as Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, and maybe if you look at Lennox Lewis when he was floored by that right hand from Oliver McCall early on in his career. That was a big one for me, and obviously the Ratman fight later on. But yeah, it was right up there. You know, very few people thought Andy Ruiz had a hope, and he sort of fooled us all. I think we all were probably guilty of underestimating him. And you know, on the week he seemed like a fanboy, happy to be there, happy to sort of collect his money. And when that bell went, he fought well. And I'm really delighted. I'm obviously disappointed for Anthony Joshua. We'll work closely with him. He's a terrific icon and an ambassador for us, and he's got to rebuild. But I'm delighted as well for the sport of boxing and for Andy Ruiz, because you know he took his opportunity and he begged and badgered Eddie Hearn for the chance. He took it, and he's a lovely guy. He's got a great family, and you know, good luck to him.
All right, obviously, yeah, like you said, it's a bad loss for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
How do you see the rematch going?
Look, rematches can go the same way. I was speaking to Steve Collins the other night. Of course, he fought Chris Eubank twice and Nigel Benn twice, and both times the result was almost more definitive the second time. But you know, everyone's different. Barrera and Morales shared 3 fights. Bowen Holyfield shared 3 fights. Of course, you can exact revenge. Just look at Lennox Lewis and what he did to Oliver McCall, albeit a couple of years later after the first defeat, but also to Hasim Rahman straight away when he went back in and proved that the first fight was a bit of a fluke, that he got to South Africa late, he hadn't acclimatised well, and he got caught by almost a lucky shot. Listen, it wasn't a lucky shot that floored Anthony Joshua. It was a really good performance from Andy Ruiz. So AJ's got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to talk to Rob McCracken. They've got to get the tactics right. They've got to utilise his physical advantages better in the rematch. But of course he can win the rematch. And whether it's in Britain, as we hope, or in America, we wait and see. But yeah, and he has to win it, really. He's got to do that, regain his titles and regain his position, with Deontay Wilder flying again after his victory over Dominic Breazeale. Tyson Fury, terrific the other night, albeit in a fight he was expected to look really good in. Certainly entertained us, didn't he? And you know, and now they're the talk of the town. You know, Fury, Wilder, Dillian White wants to be part of that mix still, and is just on the cusp. He needs a big performance over Oscar Rivas. But you know, AJ took the defeat like a man, as I knew he would. You know, he's terrifically humble. He's a great guy, and one loss doesn't ruin fighters. You know, he's now got to go back to the drawing board and prove that he can come again. And this is where we'll find out the determination, the strength, the character of AJ, and whether he can adapt to, you know, the brilliant tools he's got to use.
Because obviously I was on Instagram the other day, I saw Eddie made another fight in heavyweight division. He made Joseph Parker versus Leopold. And heavyweight division is just buzzing now. It's like it's back to the old school days. He's got a lot of contenders, a lot of hungry guys.
Do you know what? I've got a big soft spot for Joe Parker. He's a terrific guy, and although he lost to Anthony and to Dillian White, you know, I always love catching up with him. And we caught up on the morning of the AJ Ruiz fight, because Matchroom were unveiling him, and of course he's got the fight, as you said, coming up. And he was the one that said, you know what, everyone's writing Andy Ruiz off here. He said, I've shared a ring with him, he said, and do you know what, he hits harder than people think, and he's quick. And he said those first 3 rounds I didn't really know what was going on. So he sent a little warning out there, which I don't think many people heeded. But yeah, he's a good guy, Parker. And yeah, listen, he's young still as well. He's got a part to play in this heavyweight division. As I said, you've got Dillian White, you've got Joe Joyce, who's coming through, who's always going to be in good fights. You've got the Gorman-Dubois fight too. It's buzzing. You know, it's buzzing in Britain, it's buzzing over in America. And while the heavyweight division's buoyant, and there's stories, and you know, yes, the Joshua story is not what obviously, you know, many people wanted back here, and for Eddie and us it was a big disappointment in business terms. But ultimately, you know, this is what heavyweight boxing is all about. It's full of stories, it's full of the unpredictability of the sport at its most, because one punch as a heavyweight can change everything. And you know, so many people I know who were so upset about Joshua losing are now saying, right, when's he fighting again? When can he come back? Can he right the wrong? Can he exact revenge? And I think revenge and redemption in many ways is a better story than if you keep winning. So you know, it's we'll see. It's good.
Okay, so let's talk about this card we got on June 21st, York Hall, Friday. Run this card down for us.
Listen, first of all, I love going to the York Hall, Bethnal Green. It's a terrific venue. It's a venue we've been we've been in love with for 30 years at Sky Sports. There's nothing like a crowd there, an atmosphere. You sort of see the same people in the same places, and everyone's sort of falling off the roof, and it's great. It's a bear pit, so that's great, and it's a terrific opportunity for all these fighters. We love the JD Next Gen shows because it's a chance, live on Sky at prime time to showcase what they can do. But it's more than just showcase fights. There's some really tasty ones on the bill. I love the Andre Sterling sort of challenge to Craig Richards. I think that's a really interesting fight.
That's a tasty one, ain't it?
It is a really good one. It's a South London derby. It's got everything, hasn't it? One's unbeaten, the other one should really be unbeaten, but he took a fight at short notice against Frank Buglioni and did very well. And Craig Richards is really motoring now. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing how Ted Cheeseman can come back, and from a bad defeat it was, let's be honest, at the O2 against Sergio Garcia, who proved a much better fighter again than people thought. So that was a tough loss for Ted, but he's got an unbeaten fighter in front of him, or virtually unbeaten. I mean, he had that one little loss, but don't read much into the Ultimate Boxer. But Kieran Conway is good. I've seen him before. He's coming down from middleweight. He's tough. It's a good fight. And Conor Benn headlines for the first time, and he's got a real magnetism about him. Conor Benn. I think no one's quite sure how far he's going to go in the sport. He's got the name behind him. He's got a great fighting style and a real attitude, and I love that. And so and he's unbeaten still. He had that war with Cedric Pernod last time, and he was at the York Hall, and I expect another one for Conor Benn. So yeah, with Shannon Courtney and Reece Bellotti and Charlie Frank and so many others on the bill, it's going to be great.
Thank you very much, Adam. No, everyone watch live on Sky Sports, June 21st, Friday, live on DAZN as well, I believe. Yep. And yeah, it'll be a great night of boxing. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.